When life gives you lemons, make a whiskey sour and drink your pain away. That's not actual advice. You're watching Oak and Age. My name is Alan, and this is Cocktail Quickies. Today, I'm showing you how to make the classic whiskey sour. The whiskey sour is one of those classic cocktails that manages to balance sweet with sour. It packs a bold flavor. It's just an all-around great drink. Even people who don't like whiskey, people who I tend to consider inferior, are probably going to enjoy a whiskey sour. The key to making a good whiskey sour, and this is important, is using fresh ingredients. I like to make whiskey sours using bourbon, particularly a stronger bourbon such as this, Wild Turkey 101, aka the Screaming Eagle. And the reason I like Wild Turkey 101 is because it's relatively inexpensive, and at this proof, 101, it's strong enough to hold its own against ice and citrus. So we're gonna go with 2 ounces. Now I'm gonna use a cobbler shaker. You can use a Boston shaker. You can use a protein drink shaker thing. Whatever you have at your disposal is fine. We're not snobby here. 2 ounces of bourbon. Next up, we need 1 ounce of lemon juice. Now, it's always best to use fresh lemons where possible. You can use the stuff that comes in a bottle. If that's all you have, that's fine, but fresh is always better, right? It's a little bit like ordering a wedding dress from wish.com. Sure, you can do it, but like, why? I can't find my lemon squeezer anywhere, so in the words of Bear Grylls, improvise, adapt, overcome, and then drink your urine. So I'm gonna squeeze my lemon juice into a bowl.
Do it.
And I have this little strainer thingy. It's actually from a T-ball, but it'll do the job just fine. And remember, we need 1 ounce. So 1 ounce of lemon juice goes in to our shaker. Next up, we need to add our sweet element to counteract with the citrus. And for that, you can use a simple syrup. You can use maple syrup. I'm gonna go with agave nectar in this case, just because it's what I have, and I actually really like the texture. So, ½ an ounce, but you can add more or less to taste. It just kind of depends on your preference. It's a sour. Not always, but usually that means there's an egg white involved. Again, in this case, fresher is better. Now, if you're one of those people who is worried about foodborne illnesses because of the inclusion of raw eggs, shut up and stop being a baby. Plus, the alcohol is gonna kill the germs anyway. Very, very carefully separate the yolk and the white. That's all there is to it. Should have really brought a paper towel. It's okay, I'll use my pant legs like my mama taught me not to. Next up, we're gonna do a dry shake. A dry shake just means we're gonna shake it all up, all of these ingredients together without ice. Again, I'm using a cobbler shaker. You can use a Boston shaker. Whatever you have at your disposal is fine. All we're doing here is trying to break up the proteins in the eggs. Be really careful when you shake this, because that happens. You are an idiot! Careful when you're shaking it. It can explode on you when you're dry shaking. That usually doesn't happen when there's ice, because the ice creates a negative pressure inside the container, allowing it to stick together. Okay. Now that all those ingredients are mixed together, we're gonna add our ice. I prefer to use 1 large ice cube. Now we'll just shake it a little more with that ice to get everything nice and cooled down and a little bit diluted. The ice will also help to just break apart any further egg protein. All right, so there we go. It's nicely shaken up, and Now all we need to do is strain it in a glass. I, of course, have my little extra strainer here, so I'm gonna double strain it. So there we go. You can see there's a nice froth on the top. And what this cocktail needs now are cocktail bitters. Now, if you caught our last episode where I showed you how to make your own cocktail bitters, go ahead and use those. In this case, this is homemade Lapsang Souchong bitters. Lapsang is a type of tea. And I'm just gonna put some on the top of the foam. You can use however many dashes or droppers you want. I went with 2. Lastly, I like to add a garnish. I'm gonna use maraschino cherries in this case. When I skewer them, I like to picture my childhood bully. Fuck you, Chad. I usually go with 2 cherries, because why not? And there you have it, a whiskey sour. It's delicious, it's nice, it's balanced, it's smooth. I'll tell you what, it's like my taste buds are making sweet love to Martha Stewart in the back of a BMW. What? She's an attractive older lady. Don't kink shame me. You know, unlike the final season of Game of Thrones, this doesn't leave me with soul-crushing disappointment. The only thing that would make this better is if I had a big screen TV in front of me where I could watch Harvey Weinstein go 5 rounds with a grizzly bear. And on that sour note, that's the whiskey sour. Cheers.